Hi, I'm not yet dead in name and in nature, and welcome to Montana. This is Welker Farms. So, new map. I don't get too close because Nick's going to start talking to us. So, a little bit of background to this. So, if you haven't already seen this map, it's a great map. It's based on a real farm run by the Welker family. Since I think it's 1912. It's in the logo. Welker Farms, primarily a wheat farm as far as I can tell, but Montana, Big Sky. It's Big Sky County, I think they call it, but anyway, certainly Big Sky State. It's quite flat. But yeah, if you don't know about this map, so Nick was working very very closely with Mappers Paradise, who created it, and they have recreated the farm in immense detail, incredibly faithfully. Now, I wasn't watching the Welkers on their YouTube channel. They have their own YouTube channel as well, until I heard about this map, and then I started watching them, and it's a great channel. They share lots of really good stuff about the things that happen at the farm. They do lots of other interesting things as well. If you haven't seen their channel yet, I would well urge you to go and do so. They show all sorts of things about the restoring of their big birds that they've got, their own machinery that they built, the big brute, etc. Some of the challenges they have, and all that sort of stuff. It's a great channel. They're really nice people. So I really wanted to try this map out. I don't know how long I'm going to play it for. I'm going to run it with seasons because a GeoMod came out with it. I don't feel that I'll play it for a really long time, but I did want to give it a go and see how we get on. If we have a quick look at the map for a minute, you'll see why I'm slightly concerned about doing this for too long. This is field 2. In the vanilla game, this is the field you start with. You probably can't get a sense of scale, but this field is huge. And it's not the biggest field, that's field 1, which is just ginormous. My concern about doing this, and I've heard other people comment on this, as a let's play video, whatever you want to call it, series on my own, is the time it's going to take me to do anything on any of these fields. Because of what they are, that they've kept it reasonably realistic. The only thing they've added is there's no animals on this map, because they don't do animals. There's no BGA, so you can't be doing, silage harvest and everything else. There is lots of forestry down here, so I will be doing some forestry to fill in some time to make some money, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I really wanted to give it a go. It's not out there much. I think it should be. I think lots of people are playing it, but I haven't seen many videos on it, so I thought I'd give it a go. I want to do something a bit different, so what I've done is I've spent quite a lot of time setting this up. So you'll see, so I said the vanilla game you start with 2 fields. I felt to start a let's play with with 1 field, field 2. I felt to start a let's play with 1 field might be a little dull, especially as I'm running seasons. So I've also, in my swap, and I'll explain this a little bit in a minute, I've managed to engineer a couple of more fields into the deal. I used to run a farm in America called Goldcrest Valley. And it was a pretty profitable farm. I was doing really well. I'd got loads of fields. I'd made it into a really big farm, and I generated quite a lot of money. And to prove that, I'm going to put a screenshot up on the screen. So as you can see, when I was running the farm, I had about $1 million in cash that was readily available. So what I did was I sold up the farm completely. I sold all of the machinery I had, and I managed to generate, I think it was about $4 million in the end. But again, I'll put that screenshot up on there now. You'll see exactly how much I'd got once I'd sold all of my equipment. So yeah, 4,084,000. So what I've done is, I'm afraid I've used the money cheat mod. I also went and found all the gold nuggets, and I tell you what, doing the gold nugget hunt in itself was great fun. I'd urge you to do that. And if there's a desire for me to do that, I'll do it again quite happily. Mr. Seeley P's done a video up as well, but I'll do one if there's a desire for it. But it's kind of lots of fun. So I got all the gold nuggets, and with the gold nuggets, basically I bought fields 20 and 21. I then also figured that actually that still wasn't enough, so I actually calculated, well, I didn't calculate anything, but I figured that if I'd sold up on Goldcrest with all the fields that I'd have, I'd probably get a few more fields thrown into the deal when I moved to Montana. So that's what I've done. So I've now got also fields 12 and 13, and as you can see, as a result of all that, I've sold some of the machinery that I got with the farm. I've bought some new machinery, which we'll go through in a second. And I've still got a fairly healthy bank balance, which I'm going to need, because I'm going to need to buy some more machinery, and it's going to be a while before I can make any money of significance. So if we go into the garage a second, so I've got a Case Optum CVX. Now what I did was I emailed Welker Farms and said, can you give me a list of all the machinery you've got? They very kindly sent it to me very quickly. They were really responsive, which is really nice of them. And then actually I realised a couple of days later I was watching some of their videos on their YouTube channel and realised that Nick Welker had done a run through of the map himself, and they'd put all their equipment up, so if you wanted to, you could try and replicate what they have. They do have some Case tractors. It's not an Optum, they're nowhere near as fancy as this, but it was provided with the game, and I thought, you know what, I've never used it, it's a nice chunky tractor, I'm going to keep it, so I've kept the Optum. The Lizard Twin Star, they've got a couple of truck cabs that they use, so I've just kept the one that came in the game. Case, they run 2 Case combine harvesters, which we don't, with the particular model they have, we don't get on console, but you do start with an Axial Flow 7130, so I've kept that, and when I need a new harvester when it comes to harvest time, I'll get at least one more. I may even lease 1 or 2, just get some local helpers in to come and help me harvest, because that's going to be a lot of work. They've got a couple of trailers, obviously, to go with their lorries. So you start in the game with the Flegel. I've downloaded another mod once again. When I start needing trailers, I'll buy another truck and I'll get another trailer. But I've kept the Flegel for now, again, because I've never used it before. So I didn't see the point in not using it. You also start with the Lemken Gigant 10 Cultivator, which again I've kept for now. They don't have anything like that, but I've kept it just so I've got a second cultivator, and I'll probably use it this year around to get the fields ready, and then we'll probably get rid of it. Wait, I've invested for forestry, so I've got a Scorpion King. We will start clearing trees, if only something to do while crops are growing, generate some money, etc. Big buds. Welker Farms are famous for having big buds, and they have 3. We're a bit limited on console as to what we can do in terms of the mods. So they've got a smaller one and they've got 2 of the big ones. I've got a 450, therefore, was all I could get, and a 747, and I dare say I'll buy another 747 at some point just to replicate. I bought the Gregoire Besson trailed lifter just so I can use some of the kit with the big buds, and I bought the Agrisem Cultiplow Platinum as a plough. They don't have a big plough like the Gregoire Besson, which is the only other big one. So I thought I'd use a Cultiplow instead. So we're using that for now. I might get the Gregoire Besson as well at some point. I might lease it if I need extra ploughing capacity, perhaps. What power do we need for that? 420, so we can just about do that with the 450. Okay, fine. They actually use, and I forget, I don't have it available, but I'll perhaps, if I can figure out how to do it, I'll provide a link to their video so you can see their list of equipment. They don't have the Hatzenbichler, but they do have something similar. And actually, if I just come out of this a minute, what they do have is a flexi coil, but I haven't got it yet. But I think they also have a flexi coil seeder, which we don't have in game. So the Hatzenbichler, in terms of design, was the closest I could get. They also have something like this sort of seed cart that they use, so I've gone for that for now as my seeder. We'll also, if I decide to do something that they don't do, which I probably will, so I'll probably do corn and sunflowers as well, just for a bit of variety, but they do wheat. So we're okay with this, but I may also get the Great Plains, which I think you can hook up to the grain cart as well, which would be quite cool. So we'll look at doing that. I have bought a BSM hook lift from the Blacksheep modding truck pack, the 850, and I'm going to use that for a couple of things. One is because actually they have on the farm in their list, they've got a Ford grain truck, which actually has a, sort of, I think it's called tandem grain cart sort of that sits on the back in a similar way. So it looks like the hook lift does, but obviously it's a fixed grain trailer. So I will do that, and I found a way to replicate something similar. But actually, in the meantime, I'm using that for something else. They have a disc cultivator, and the closest big disc cultivator that I could find was the AgroBear HD8400. I'll put up all the modest details on all of these in the description. But yeah, so I've got one of those. They have a I forget the name of the sprayer they have. I'll have to look it up and I'll let you know. But they have a sprayer that looks, when I was looking, and it's going to bug me because it'll come to me as soon as I see it. Anyway, the closest I could find to how it looks is the Horsch Leeb from the Horsch pack. They do also have the Big Brute. There is a Big Brute mod. I will get the Big Brute, but that's something they built themselves. So I kind of figure when they started, they wouldn't have had a Big Brute, so neither am I, but I will get a Big Brute. The ITRunner I'll explain in a minute. So, talked about doing forestry. This was something I actually did on Goldcrest, and I thought I'd repeat it here. Is a couple of these for putting logs in. It's a great look, and I think it looks pretty authentic, so we've gone with that. And a toolbox, because there's no toolbox, there's no so I couldn't find one. There's no sort of modification point at the farm, so I've put a toolbox in. Unfortunately, it has to be outside the workshop, and I thought this looked pretty authentic, this toolbox, and I haven't used this mod before. I've also got the Rabaud SUPERNET field sweeper, or whatever you want to call it, because what I'm going to do, again, going back to field sizes, I'm actually going to put a line down the middle of field 2. It's huge, and I think I'll get better use out of it initially by splitting it in two, and I can get loads of different crops in the ground rather than, if you like, throwing all my eggs in one basket. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to divide that field up for now, once it's been ploughed, and then I'll put different crops in the different halves. So I'll essentially then have 6 fields that I can plant. So, or seed, as I think they say in America. So I'm not going to do a major separate tour of the map at this point, but talking about putting all your eggs in one basket, what we will do, because I've been doing all this setting up and it's taken me quite a while, I did all that before I put seasons on, but the reasons we're on, and stupidly it's my fault, the reason we're on day 2 of seasons is because I was at the end of a day when I started the season mod off, so of course it started at day 1 and I've just automatically moved to day 2, which is unfortunate. But yes, because of that, there's lots of eggs in the coop, so while we're here, we'll get the eggs, because there's 22, and something tells me if I don't pick them all up, they won't lay anymore. I've left the... Oh, right, okay, the rest are in there. I've left this gate open, because the chicken's all free range anyway, so I might as well just leave them to roam about, and it saves me at the gate every time. So how do I get into here, then? Ah, cool. There we go. Yep, and again, I'm gonna leave that door open. I don't see the point in not really. Can I get those ones in there? Chicks, hello chicks. Oh, that's cool. I think we got them all now. No. Can I get that egg? I'm assuming that's the one I can't. I actually don't know how you. Oh well. I can't seem to get that one. Never mind. 21's pretty good. Oh, go and say hello to the dog. Hello, dog. Don't know the dog's name. But yes, the chickens are pretty free roaming, so I don't see the point in closing the coop up. Right, well, I suppose we'd better get on with some work, really. And we can't not start with a big bud. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward map. There's one sell point, or main sell point, that takes all the crops. That's down near the store, which is in the Sorry. Ugh. Southeast corner of the map. And I understand that actually in reality that's not quite right. They've had to rotate the map for some reason, and Nick did say why, and I forget why, I'll be honest. But yeah, so let's change that light's still on. So yeah, I'll open up. So there's the case. And actually we're going to need, that's our plough in there, so we're going to need to get that out. So I was going to use one of the big buds. But let's at least get it out with the case anyway. You know what I haven't done yet, actually, is put in a wash, a jet wash. Now I'm still learning this map functionally, as you might say. So oh, and I've left the sweeper out, but that's fine. We'll need to use that once we've got this field ploughed. And here, just giving away the surprise a little bit, we used the baby big bud today. What's that switch for? Is that? Oh, that is for that. Oh, that's why that light's on then. So there's a switch somewhere. Oh, it's here, I assume. No. Yeah, that's strange because it seems to switch this light off. Oh well, anyway. No, we're gonna have this problem, aren't we? Go away. I do love these big buds. I did have one on Goldcrest, but actually it's great to use them on a farm that kind of they were designed for, let's face it. I think it would make sense to start with one of the smaller fields, so I think we might actually go lease the Gregoire Besson, just so we can get a little bit more going on. And I think there'll be a question of multiple workers. So I told you the fields are big. I'm going to zoom out. There's field 2. That little bit in front of us, that is field 2. It sweeps all the way around the farm and all the way back up, about as far as you can see. That, then we're going to tilt the screen. That's the top end of field 2. These are big fields. So let's go do field 21 and we'll see how we get on, because that's the smallest of all the fields that I've bought. I'm gonna keep zoomed out because you can see this is big area. I know the big bud's not the biggest, you know, the fastest tractor in the world, but still, I think I may end up having a lot of stuff delivered to the farm because, frankly, well, I'm going to spend an awful lot of time driving backwards and forwards. So the field next to us is field 3. Look at the size of it. It's just massive. Nice wide roads. And yeah, I mean, if you watch the Welker YouTube channel, I would urge you to. You'll see how authentic this is. It's astounding. It really is. And they're great. It's such a great channel. They're great people. So let's see. I think field 21 is slightly smaller, so let's start with that and we'll see how we do. Actually, if I got lucky, if I managed to buy something that's got something in it. Oh, but it's withered. Oh, of course. Okay, I was going to say. It doesn't surprise. I was just slightly surprised that it looked like there was something in it, but no, of course it's withered. Because it's got seasons on, it's destroyed all the crops. Oh, yeah, okay. So, unfold. Never the easiest things to reverse. There we go. And away we go. Cutting new land on our new farm. I haven't used this before. It's a great looking mod. Well, mod, I mean it is a mod. Giant's created it, but yeah, it looks really good. I can see me having a few time lapses. Oh, a bit of a dip in the land there. Because otherwise you're going to get really bored of just watching me do stuff. It takes a really, really, really long time. So... but it's definitely big bud country, and I mean I did use some of the big bud equipment on Goldcrest. I had a couple of large fields, and but to do this, brilliant, so different to everything else that I've been doing. But yeah, so this is a start of a whole load of new stuff for the channel. So if you've been watching my channel, thank you, firstly. But also I'm trying to generate some new interest, some new blood. So part of the reason for doing this, part of the reason is I'm really interested in it. I think it's fascinating. It's based on a real farm, real YouTube people. Just it's great. But also it's partly about doing something different, doing something with a new map. All of the maps that I've been playing are older maps that perhaps have less interest for people. And so I'm not getting the views that maybe I'd like to get. So this is a bit about shaking it up, trying something new, and I'm going to do that with something else. So I'm going to put a pause on my current maps of Altenstein and Spectacle Island. I will almost certainly come back to them, but I don't have time to do too many maps. I struggle to get too many videos out. I've got other things going on, and actually I don't have the space. I'm still interested in trying to do my drama multiplayer, so I've kept that map downloaded, but to do the Welker Farm map and one of the other new maps, and I'm still deciding which one I'm going to do, I didn't have space to keep them all, so I've deleted Spectacle Island and Altenstein for now. I've kept the save games though, so I can always come back to them just by downloading the map again, so that's easy, but I don't want to do that on a regular basis. So for right now, I'm going to put a pause on those, but I do want to come back to them. There is still stuff that I'm wanting to do that I haven't done yet. Using some of the farming classics equipment, that kind of thing. I still want to do all that, so because I'm enjoying that map. It's a great map. And Spectacle Island again, still stuff that I've got plans to do. Use some of the sugarcane equipment, etc., that I haven't used yet. So I'll be coming back to those. But in the meantime, it's all about the channel and trying new things. So this is what we're doing, and it's exciting. I'm actually really excited by this. And if you've been watching, I will be doing some more train simulator world videos, because I really love that, but I just haven't had time to do any more, unfortunately, since the first one. But I'll be trying to get another one of those out soon as well. Well, who knows, by the time this goes out I may have already done it, but we'll see. So yeah, it's all exciting, and I'm actually really pleased. It's taken me a long time to get this map set up. I'm really excited to be starting on it. And we better get on, because actually I need to be sowing tomorrow. I've got a really short window, so actually if I get a work on this, I'll leave him running on that for a second and see how he gets on, and we'll take a quick look at the seasons map. So I've only got 3 days seasons. I don't want to spend ages on this map. I say I'm just trying this out. It may turn into something bigger, in which case maybe I'll do 6 days, but the thing about this map is there's not that much going on. So for now, while I've got a small number of fields, I'm not doing animals, I don't need to do grass, I don't need to do hay, I don't need to do straw, all of this stuff. So I think 3 days is enough. But anyway, so we are on the second day of spring. I've left it in Fahrenheit. I'm not very good with Fahrenheit, but I've left it in Fahrenheit because I should. We're in America, we're in dollars, we're in Fahrenheit, and I'll just have to get used to it. So yeah, so all the numbers in blue, and if I remember rightly, that means that it's cold and I can't sow anything yet. And it looks like planting season for all of my crops is from the 3rd day of spring, which means by the end of the 2nd day of spring, I must have at least 2 or 3 fields ready to sow. They need to be ploughed and ready to sow. That said, they don't have to be cultivated, because actually the seeder, the Hatzenbichler, is a direct sow, which actually, given how little time we've got to get things ready, that could be a really good thing. But we can have a few days here or there when there's nothing to do but spray. Maybe we'll just get the big brute. I've got the money left. and we'll do some forestry, and then of course we'll get into harvest season. For us it'll be late autumn because we didn't sow last year, so I'd expect we'll be looking at second or third, mid or late autumn before we can start to harvest. We should expect snow. In fact, actually the weather forecast has changed. It was saying we were going to get snow today, and now it doesn't, which is a good thing because rain we can cope with. But yeah, we should expect snow, so we'll be getting a snowblower out, clearing the roads in the winter. Yeah, I'm excited about this actually. I spent a really long time doing Goldcrest and didn't want to do a US map for a while, but actually I'm kind of excited to come back and using the big stuff and have seasons back on. As you all know, Spectacle Island, I said was my fun map, and I did that straight after I'd finished Goldcrest, where I'd run a couple of years with seasons. Altenstein didn't have the snow mask on, and it was more about the older equipment and doing it period, so seasons wasn't so important, but I'm actually quite excited to have seasons back. So yeah, that's probably enough witching for me. Let's get this field done, and maybe I'll go and get another plough, and we can start ploughing one of the other fields as well, or maybe we'll just have two workers working on the same field. Actually, I think by the time I've bought a plough, that will be pretty much done. We'll get another worker on the field next door with another plough, and then maybe we'll get two workers on some of the bigger fields. Yeah. So there she is, the 747. What a beast. I love this tractor. What a tractor. I mean, my goodness me, it's just huge. So yeah, there you can see I've put the little work chest because there's the little icon. I managed to get it as close as I possibly could to the shed. It's right on the edge, but I could only put it on the outside. But so close that the icon you have to press is inside, which is kind of fun. Customize? Can you customize it? Oh yeah, I can put triple wheels on there. Let's not do that. Slightly crazy. Twin wheels is cool. But these mods are just amazing. See the fan going around, crankshaft turning, keep an eye out for that when it's going. Just amazing. So cool. Right, I've used the case. I'm afraid I'm using the case with a bit of a shunt tractor. It's just lining stuff up, but it's so much easier than doing it with the big bug. So I've got my worker merrily working away on field 21. So we'll go and attack field 20. How's it looking actually, that field? Nice. It'll take a while though, but it's going. There's going to be bits that we're going to miss with this because of its shape. It's one of those. But the nice thing about the other one is it's a nice square profile, so. Coming cab. Yeah, the other one's a nice square profile, so it'll be really useful for tidying up ends and things like that. This is just amazing. Now then, can I remember? Is it that one? Nope. I don't remember. Sorry. It's been so long since I've used seasons. Oh, of course, you can't affect the season stuff when you're in vehicle. That's why. Okay, fine. Now I remember. I was going to switch the seasons, the weather forecast off, but I can't. Wow, this thing's a beast, but doesn't it look perfectly at home? Twin exhausts. Just amazing. Kind of, this could be a bit of a conflict thing. Yeah, actually no, we'll have time, because by the time we get down there, they've gone out the way. I'm just thinking I kind of want to start down at this end where it's nice and square, so that I'm leaving this awkward bit where it comes out into the middle till later on, but it'll be perfect because he'll just have got out of the way. Yeah, good job, but boy is that going to take a while with an 8 metre. It's an 8 metre plough, and look how long that's going to take. A bit weird at the edges of the map, but still. Needs must, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Right. Now then, lining this up. So it's been a while since I've used this. So we need to unfold it. Straighten it out. Somehow reverse it. Not. Oh my goodness me, how are we going to do this? No, I'm going to leave this bit messy at the end. I'm going to nicely straighten this out, line it all up, and then we'll start it from this way. Okay. Problem is, the minute you move the camera up, you can no longer see the end of the plough. Just amazing. I think it's good to get a worker on this. Ooh, except they've already stopped. Why is that? Okay, this could be tricky. Interesting. Don't need that. Maybe I should have got one of the other ones. Oh dear. I have used this plough before, but it's been a while. Well, let's see what they do when they get to the end. Maybe it'll just be that first one I'll need to tidy up, but that's cool. Well, let's not have that up, destroying the view. It's an amazing setup. It's got to look at the size of it. Oh, it missed a spot. Yeah, this is the problem, because it, especially with a worker, it just leaves these great long bits at the end. But he's turning okay. Great to see two of these big buds working together though. Ah, maybe that's why, because I had it wrong way around. That could be it. He was saying, no, you don't want to use it this way. That could be why. Okay, good. Well, we'll leave him running. so that was it. So fields 12, 13, 21 and 20 are now all done, and it's just the big field number 2 left. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this. I think what I'll do, I'll get this one for now running along top and bottom to get good, and around the tricky bit around the middle. And I've already set up the other big bud with the Gregoire Besson at the other end, on the long end, the long side of the field, ready to go, and try and coordinate the two. And then once I've got good headlands at each end to allow the Gregoire Besson to cope with. As you can see, I had a few problems with workers. Field 20 was particularly difficult. In reflection, I probably shouldn't have done that with the Gregoire. I probably should have done it with this one, but never mind, you learn. So yeah, we'll get stuck into field number 2, and then all of our fields are ploughed, and blimey, it's been a big job. You can see the time. I did start off the time at _5, but I've taken it back to ×1, otherwise I was going to run out of time. That rain's been threatening for a while, so I expect that to start coming quite soon. So yeah, we'll get this started. I'll just get this curve done, because otherwise it'll confuse a worker. And then we'll set off the worker at this end, we'll flip over to the other big bud, and we'll get a worker going on there. Oh, actually, so maybe this field's this field's cultivated, yeah, but not ploughed. Okay, fine, right. I just realised it's got the cultivated texture, but we kind of still want to plough it to get our yields as best we can, so we shall do that. Do it. Hopefully the worker will cope with that slope at that end. Helpers completed their task. Okay. Oh no, they haven't. I'll do it. I'll bring it in. Actually, I'll bring it in a little bit. I'll do this end myself, and then I'll turn it round and send it back, and we'll see what happens. It might be because I've got it overlapping the edge of the field a little bit. It could be why. Let's give that a go. But yes, these are big fields, without a doubt. The time it takes me to do one job, like ploughing, cultivating, seeding, chances are each episode's going to be pretty much a day to get all these fields done. But of course then we'll move on to be doing other things, so I know I don't own the field. Yeah, spotting the difference in texture, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, I know why it won't do it. It's done because I'm using a cultivator. Oh grief, okay. So yeah, this isn't the way to go. Tricky. Because I did so much of the other fields myself. That's why I really want to sit. I'd rather have workers do this. Yeah, it's just not going to do it. Because technically it's already cultivated. Okay. Might have to come up with another plan. Right, so I've leased another Gregoire Besson plough and trailed lifter. In theory it needs more power than the little big bud has, but it's a pretty flat field, so we'll give it a go, see how we get on. So I'll unfold it. Turn it the other way. And yeah, so what I'm going to do 3 headlands at this end, or a headland of 3 plough widths at this end, which is, yeah, think about that, that's 30 meters, just amazing. And then I'll go and do the same at the other end, and then I'll get, so I might do the same in the middle as well, and then I'll get this one going up and down, and we'll see how we get on. So try and line it a bit better. Never an easy thing to do. Put that again in a minute anyway. going fine. Yes, I can't remember exactly. I think Gregoire Besson needed 500, 550, and this big bud's it's only 450 horsepower. But it's doing okay. Alright, so there's still a little bit uphill. It's going to struggle with, but yeah, I was expecting that to happen. Right. So there's no crops in it. These fields are going to become a bit tricky actually doing this kind of stuff once we've got crops in. It's a bit more difficult to judge where to go. The other one is perfect in that the edge of the plough is pretty much the edge of the wheels, so it actually works quite well. This one a little more tricky. Just go with it. Do that first line very well, but still, I will do this myself before I get a worker going up and down. Getting there though, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 smaller fields done already, just a big one left to do. Easy old first day. Already looks like I need to buy a jet wash. The big buds are actually filthy. Plow's a dirty job. I know you can really do this, but there's no other way to do it at all. It's a bit of a funny shaped field actually. Down that field. Right, so yeah, nearly done now. Just tidying up the last few bits of this field, just the bits that were missed. I've returned the other leased plough and trailed lifter, and the big bud 450 is back in the shed. As you can see, the rain has arrived. It's nearly 7 o'clock in the evening, so very long day of ploughing, getting all our fields ready, but we're in a good state. Hopefully the rain will stop and we'll be able to sow the fields tomorrow. Also need to think about first level fertilisation stage, so some of the fields I might do that before before we start seeding, or planting as they call it in the States, I believe. But yeah, so busy day, end of an episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet and want to, please feel free to do so. And I look forward to welcoming you back to Montana and Welker Farms very soon. Bye bye for now.